The year was 1968, a time of change, challenge, and innovation in the United States and around the world. The Vietnam War was at its height, civil rights struggles were shaping the nation, and the American public was living through one of the most transformative decades in modern history. During this same period, the United States Mint continued to strike coins that would not only serve as tools of everyday commerce but also eventually become items of great historical and collectible value. One such coin is the 1968 D Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny, a coin that carries an incredible story, a legacy of design and minting, and today has reached an astonishing current market value of $4 million. To understand why this coin is so significant, we must first step back to the origins of the Lincoln cent itself. The Lincoln 1-cent coin was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of the birth of Abraham Lincoln, the beloved 16th President of the United States. This was the very first time in United States history that a real person was portrayed on circulating coinage, and it was a groundbreaking decision. Up until then, American coins had carried symbols, allegories, and depictions of liberty, but never the face of a real historical figure. The Lincoln penny changed all of that. The original design was created by Victor David Brenner, a Lithuanian-born sculptor who had immigrated to America and left a lasting impact on American coinage. Brenner created a profile of Abraham Lincoln based on a portrait photograph, and this design became instantly recognizable and beloved. On the obverse or front of the coin, we see Lincoln facing right with the simple word liberty inscribed along with the motto "In God We Trust." The reverse design in 1909 featured 2 wheat stalks, which earned the coin the popular nickname Wheat Penny. Fast forward to 1959, a year that marked the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, and also the 50th anniversary of the Lincoln cent. The United States Mint made the decision to update the reverse design. The wheat stalks were replaced with the Lincoln Memorial, an iconic image of the great structure in Washington, D.C. This new reverse design was created by Frank Gasparo, the chief engraver of the Mint. The Lincoln Memorial design remained on the coin for several decades, and it was the reverse design used in 1968 as well. Now let us focus on the specific year of 1968, and the Denver Mint, where the 1968 D Lincoln cent was struck. The Denver Mint has long been one of the busiest coin-producing facilities in the country, and in 1968 it struck hundreds of millions of Lincoln cents. However, as with all coinage, there were variations in quality, mint errors, and unique strikes that would later create rarity and value. What seems like an ordinary copper coin to most people can sometimes be a hidden gem worth a fortune when preserved in the right condition or discovered with the right error. In 1968, the Lincoln cent was made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, a composition that had remained unchanged since 1909. The coin weighed 3.11 grams and had a diameter of 19 millimeters. On the obverse, we see the portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Brenner, while on the reverse we see the Lincoln Memorial designed by Gasparo. Beneath the year on the obverse appears a mint mark, and in this case the letter D for Denver. So why is the 1968 D penny so incredibly valuable today? Why does this coin that once circulated freely in pocket change now command a market value of $4 million? The answer lies in a combination of rarity, condition, historical significance, and collector demand. While millions were minted, only a very small number of these coins were struck with exceptional quality or preserved in flawless condition. In addition, some rare minting errors and varieties from this year have turned ordinary pennies into treasures. One of the most important factors is grade. When coin collectors refer to grade, they are talking about the condition of the coin. Coins are graded on a scale known as the Sheldon scale, which ranges from 1 for a heavily worn coin to 70 for a perfect mint state. Example: coins from circulation often grade very low, but coins that are preserved in mint state with full red luster can achieve astonishing prices in auctions. The 1968 D penny in mint state red condition is extremely rare, and when discovered it can sell for incredible amounts. In addition, certain doubled die varieties and striking errors from this year have become legendary among numismatists. For example, there are known 1968 D Lincoln cents that show doubling in the lettering of Liberty, or In God We Trust, and even on Lincoln's profile this doubling is caused by a mistake in the hubbing process where the die imprints twice and creates a shadow or duplicate image on the coin. Collectors pay huge premiums for these doubled die examples because they are both rare and visually striking. Other Varieties include repunched mint marks where the D mint mark was stamped more than once and shows a doubling or tripling effect under magnification. These varieties add even more intrigue to the 1968 D penny series beyond mint errors. Another reason for the value of the 1968 D penny lies in its historical context. The late 1960s was a turbulent time for the United States. Coins from this era carry a connection to the social and political climate of the time for collectors and historians. Owning a pristine example of a 1968 D penny is like holding a piece of history, a reminder of the era of civil rights protests, space exploration, and cultural transformation. Now let us talk specifically about the $4 million valuation. The market for rare coins operates much like the art world or the world of fine antiques. When a rare example comes to auction, collectors compete fiercely to acquire it. In the case of the 1968 D penny, the most valuable specimens are those certified by professional grading services at the highest levels, such as Mint State 69 Red. These coins are nearly flawless with blazing original luster, sharp strike, and eye appeal. In an auction setting, such a coin can bring astronomical prices, and the highest known sale for this issue has pushed its market valuation into the multi-million-dollar range. Today, the top-known 1968 D penny carries an estimated worth of $4 million, making it one of the most expensive pennies in United States history. It is important for collectors and the general public to know that not every 1968 D penny is worth millions. The vast majority of these coins are worth only their face value, or perhaps a small premium if they are in uncirculated condition. However, the dream of finding that one rare example is what excites treasure hunters and numismatists across the globe. Coin roll hunters carefully search through bank rolls of pennies. Coin dealers keep their eyes open for unusual specimens, and everyday people sometimes stumble upon rare coins in jars of change passed down from family members. This leads us to the fascinating culture of coin collecting itself. Numismatics, as the study of coins, tokens, and paper money is called, has existed for centuries. Coins tell the story of nations. They capture history in metal. They bear the images of leaders, monuments, and symbols, and they travel through the hands of millions of people carrying both economic and historical weight. The Lincoln Cent series, in particular, has been one of the most widely collected in the world because it is accessible, inexpensive to begin, and yet full of rare treasures that can be worth fortunes. The story of the 1968 D penny also demonstrates how important preservation is for collectors. Coins that are kept in circulation lose much of their value due to wear, scratches, and damage, but coins that are preserved in mint sets, proof sets, or special rolls can remain in pristine condition for decades. That is why serious collectors often place their coins in protective holders or slabs certified by grading services such as PCGS or NGC. These holders protect the coin and also guarantee its authenticity and grade, adding to its value in the marketplace. Imagine finding a 1968 D penny in your possession and discovering that it has full red mint state luster with no visible marks and perhaps even a rare double die variety. That coin could potentially change your life, bringing in millions at auction. This is the magic and mystery of coin collecting, the possibility that an ordinary coin could be extraordinary. As we reach deeper into this story, let us not forget the artistic beauty of the Lincoln Cent. Victor David Brenner's portrait of Lincoln remains one of the most enduring designs in American coinage history. His work has been praised for capturing both the dignity and humanity of Abraham Lincoln, a leader whose legacy continues to inspire. Frank Gasparo's Lincoln Memorial reverse design likewise captured an important national monument that symbolizes unity, democracy, and remembrance of one of America's greatest presidents. Together, these two designs created a coin that has circulated in the billions yet contains within it the possibility of rarity and value beyond imagination. Today, collectors and historians continue to celebrate the Lincoln Cent, and among all its many issues, the 1968 D penny stands out not just for its monetary worth but for the story it tells about a time in American history, the skill of engravers, and the passion of collectors. It is a coin that reminds us that value is not only measured in dollars but also in the way objects connect us to our past. So the next time you hold a penny in your hand, take a moment to look closely at it. Notice the details, the year, the mint mark, the design. You never know when that small copper coin might actually be a rare treasure worth millions, perhaps even one of the legendary 1968 D mint mark Lincoln Cents with a market value today of $4 million. Welcome back to our channel where we explore the most fascinating stories behind rare coins, valuable pennies, and treasures hiding in plain sight. Today we are going to dive into the world of one of the most mysterious coins of the modern era, the 1982 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny coin, a coin that looks so ordinary at first glance but carries a value so extraordinary that it has shocked collectors, dealers, and treasure hunters all around the world, with a current market value soaring up to $8 million. This little coin has earned its place among the legends of American numismatics. To truly understand why the 1982 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is so rare and valuable, we need to step back and look at the larger history of the Lincoln cent. The Lincoln 1-cent coin was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. For over 70 years, the Lincoln penny remained one of the most recognizable coins in circulation. By the time 1982 arrived, the Lincoln cent had already become deeply rooted in American culture, but something dramatic was about to change in that year, something that would create confusion, mistakes, and in turn some of the rarest varieties in the history of the penny. The year 1982 was not just any year for the Lincoln cent, it marked the historic transition from the traditional copper composition to a cheaper and lighter composition of copper-plated zinc. For decades, pennies were made primarily of 95% copper and 5% zinc and tin, giving them a solid weight and a distinct reddish-brown look. However, in 1982, rising copper prices made it too expensive for the United States Mint to continue striking pennies out of solid copper. In fact, the cost of producing each penny began to exceed its actual face value. This forced the Mint to find an alternative solution, and so copper-plated zinc pennies were introduced. Now here is where things get interesting. The Mint did not switch overnight. Instead, 1982 became a year filled with transition experiments and multiple varieties of the Lincoln cent. That year, the Mint struck both copper and zinc cents. They also used two different styles of lettering on the date, the large date and the small date. Combined with the fact that pennies were being struck at both the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint, this created a staggering total of 7 known varieties for the year 1982. Each one has its own unique look, weight, and rarity, but hidden among these varieties lies one of the most mysterious coins, the 1982 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. Most coins produced at the Philadelphia Mint traditionally carried no mint mark. This was not unusual by itself. However, certain examples of the 1982 penny without a mint mark were struck in such small numbers and under such unusual circumstances that they became incredibly rare. Even more intriguing is that many of these coins were struck with mistakes and transitional errors. Some show features of copper, while others revealed the zinc transition. All of these little quirks contributed to the legendary reputation of the 1982 no-mint mark penny. Collectors began to notice strange inconsistencies with the 1982 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. Some weighed 3.11 grams, which meant they were made of the older copper composition. Others weighed only 2.5 grams, which revealed they were made of the newer zinc composition. A few even displayed slight errors in the lettering of the date or in the details of Lincoln's bust on the obverse. These details may seem small to the average person, but to a coin collector, every fraction of a gram and every detail in design matters. These minor differences created a frenzy among collectors and made the 1982 no-mint mark penny one of the most studied coins in modern American history. What made this coin explode in value over the years was not just its transitional background, but also the fact that only a handful of verified examples exist in pristine condition. The rarity, combined with historical significance, pushed prices into the millions. Auction houses began reporting jaw-dropping sales of 1982 no-mint mark pennies discovered by sharp-eyed collectors. One such penny in near-perfect condition stunned the coin collecting community when it sold for nearly $8 million. The discovery of such a coin in everyday circulation has inspired thousands of treasure hunters to check their change jars, piggy banks, and coin rolls in hopes of striking gold in the form of copper or zinc. Imagine this scenario: you are at a grocery store, you receive a handful of change, you barely glance at the pennies before tossing them into your pocket. What if one of those simple little pennies was worth $8 million? The 1982 no-mint mark Lincoln penny has turned ordinary moments like this into extraordinary dreams for collectors and non-collectors alike. It represents the possibility that life-changing wealth might be hiding in plain sight. The design of the 1982 penny is classic yet powerful. On the obverse, you find the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, a design that has been a mainstay on the penny for over a century. The reverse features the Lincoln Memorial with intricate columns and details that symbolize strength, history, and unity. What makes the 1982 version so unique is not the design itself, but the context of its creation, the mistakes, the transitions, and the rare absence of a mint mark that set it apart from millions of ordinary coins. When we look at the current market value of the 1982 no mint mark Lincoln penny, the numbers are staggering. In top graded condition, this coin has achieved sales as high as $8 million. Even coins in lesser condition can fetch thousands or tens of thousands depending on weight, variety, and visual appeal. Professional grading services such as PCGS and NGC have certified only a small handful of these coins, making them true treasures of the modern numismatic world. Collectors are willing to pay astronomical prices because the coin represents both rarity and history in one small copper or zinc disc. Let us now explore why collectors and investors are so drawn to coins like the 1982 no mint mark penny. Beyond its value, this coin symbolizes the unpredictability of minting history. It teaches us that even in the modern era, when minting technology is advanced, mistakes still happen, and sometimes those mistakes create legendary treasures for the average person. This story offers hope and excitement because it means that one rare coin could still be hiding in your pocket change right now. As we journey deeper into this story, we must also look at the larger cultural impact of rare pennies like this. For generations, Americans have been fascinated by the idea of hidden treasure, whether it is gold buried in the ground or rare coins sitting in an old jar. The dream of finding something priceless is universal. The 1982 no mint mark penny embodies that dream perfectly. It is proof that a coin worth just 1 cent can transform into a life-changing fortune. Now think about how many 1982 pennies are still floating around in circulation. Millions were minted, yet only a fraction have been carefully checked for errors, weight, and rarity. That means countless people may have handled a fortune without even knowing it. Perhaps in a small town in the Midwest, a family has a jar of pennies from the 1980s, and inside sits a coin that could pay off their home loans and change their lives forever. Stories like these are what keep collectors searching day after day. If you are curious about finding one of these coins, here are some tips. First, check the weight. A copper 1982 penny will weigh around 3.11 grams, while a zinc penny will weigh 2.5 grams. Use a precise digital scale to measure. Second, look carefully at the date. Some versions will have larger numbers while others have smaller numbers. These are known as large date and small date varieties. Finally, check the coin for the absence of a mint mark and for overall condition. Coins with no mint mark and sharp details have the greatest potential value. The 1982 no mint mark Lincoln penny is not just a coin, it is a story of change, transition, and accidental rarity. It represents how history and economics collided to create one of the most valuable modern coins ever known, and at the heart of this story lies Abraham Lincoln, a president remembered for his leadership and vision, forever immortalized on the smallest denomination of United States currency. As we bring this story to a close, remember this: the next time you receive change at a store, do not ignore the pennies. Take a moment to look at the dates, to study the details, and to weigh their importance, for hidden in those small copper and zinc discs may be the fortune you never expected. The 1982 no mint mark Lincoln penny, valued at $8 million, serves as a reminder that treasure can come in the most ordinary forms. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey through history, numismatics, and treasure hunting. If you found this story fascinating, inspiring, or exciting, make sure to subscribe, like, and share our videos so we can continue bringing you more tales of hidden treasures, rare coins, and the mysteries of American currency. Until next time, keep your eyes open, keep searching, and who knows, maybe the next priceless discovery will be in your hands.